Alright mate, fancy spending a few hours driving simulated trucks around a realistic environment and undertaking a real life job? No, you can't get out of the trucks. No, you don't get paid for the job, it's a game. You just have to collect logs. Yeah, logs. Then you drive them through a load of mud and you drop them off at a lumber mill and then you can do it all again. But this time with a different truck, mate. Glenn? I think he hung up. Let's find out why.
Joking aside, the game actually has far more to do than simply collecting logs. This is very much a slower paced simulation of trucking in many different varieties. If that instantly makes you want to run for the hills screaming, then this may not be the game for you. The game surprised me in a few ways. Firstly, the vehicle physics and the environments are incredible, absolutely incredible, and for enthusiasts, you need to know that the small and mighty Switch has done an admirable job of keeping up with the demands of this type of experience. Every aspect of the many different vehicles are accurately replicated, bar a few notable omissions such as no functional wing mirrors, most likely a graphical limitation on the Switch's part though. Things like having to release your parking brake and using automatic or manual gearing are all here. Switching to all-wheel drive or delivering power equally to all the wheels can be toggled with the press of a button, but will use more fuel. If you venture out without using these though, you'll end up going awry. Just as in real life, if you let your 2-year-old drive a Jeep through the wilderness, well, this is going to happen. But check out those beautiful water physics, it really is impressive. If you get stuck while traversing the environment, you can attach a winch to many things and attempt to pull yourself out of these tricky situations. The controls are actually quite good in these instances, and the D-pad acts as your advanced menu from which you control many aspects of your chosen vehicle. Once again, the mud in the title really does play a large role in the game. On a merry Sunday afternoon, driving to the login station, my 2 kids happily chirping instructions on which direction to go and what to do, etc. My boy, too, trucks are his thing. Anyway, we're cruising along and they tell me to take my behemoth of a truck off-road. It'll be quicker, Daddy. Yes, I think, because, it does look quicker. It's just behind those trees. Every other game I've ever played would just be like, yeah, that's fine, gamer. This ground is the same as the ground before, because why wouldn't it be? Big mistake. This ground is definitely not the same. This is a peat bog. Incredibly accurate, actually. Pete would be proud. So I'm like, we either carry on or we just push through, or we're probably stuck, so on we go. We get stuck approximately 3 meters later. Crap. Again, as a consummate gaming professional, I don't panic. I'll just move around a bit, back and forwards, and we'll be golden. I'll be out in no time. We weren't golden. We sunk into the mud. Thankfully, you can abandon your vehicle via the return to garage option. At this stage, I should have just got on with the login missions, but unfortunately, my 5-year-old was all, we need to go and rescue the truck stuck in the mud, because 5. So off we go. After a literal 30 minutes of almost drowning, getting stuck several times and using the winch to save myself, we arrive at the scene. Now again, every other game would have wiped what had occurred out. It would cost too much memory and resources to keep that sunken mud and my poor trailer rendered 2 miles away in a bog. Nope, there it is, looking as sad as when I left it, sunk to the hilt in mud. Wow, that's pretty impressive. We actually ended up pulling that out with a winch. And again, if this is your sort of thing, you're going to absolutely love how everything is rendered and remains rendered in the entire world. Now, while these moments are impressive, for many people who aren't fans of simulation trucking, the game can feel a little too slow. And having been so indoctrinated in games such as GTA, you really do want to just get out of your truck sometimes and walk around. I hope they add that next time. I just wanted to stretch my virtual legs. Maybe have a virtual sandwich or something. Oh well. This feeling did stick with me, and there were several times I just craved some action, such as arriving at this gully where the temptation to just scooch the edge was too great. Every other game I've ever played would let me just stick a wheel over the edge all cocky and then roll back. My wheel gets stuck on a rock, the gear slips, and well, you can see where this is going. As you traverse the map, you can unlock towers which open up the hidden areas of the world map, which is quite vast, especially at these speeds. While you do have to collect logs, etc., there are also a variety of missions you can select and run from the main menu. You're awarded bonus points for only driving in the cockpit view or taking no damage. Plotting your route, nothing is done for you. You can stick little markers, but don't expect to bust out your iPhone and follow Google Maps in these huge environments, which would be more realistic, to be fair. As you drive around in free mode, you can unlock new trucks by, as I said, discovering them, the locations of which are shown on your map. Getting from A to B is no simple affair. There is an online multiplayer for 2 to 4 people, and while nobody was online during the review period, I have a feeling this, especially for truck nerds, will be where the majority of time will be spent. As I said, the game is a relaxing experience for the most part, and running logging missions, coordinating with each other, and using the cranes, etc., for those so inclined, is going to be a blast. Gameplay is going to really please some people, the enthusiasts, and they're definitely out there. I'm just not one of them. For everyone else, this is a game to play to chill out, well, at least until you get stuck. For me, not really a fan of the genre. I could still appreciate the experience to some degree, but it won't be for everyone. Gameplay gets 13 out of 20. Although I've been back every day since finishing the review just to drive, which is a little strange, but yeah, it has that kind of pull. Controls score 16 out of 20. Everything is incredibly realistic, which is to say you'll be wrestling some of the larger vehicles and zipping around in the smaller. I can't really knock controls for being realistic, and the HD Rumble is some of the best I've experienced. Every engine feels unique, which is great. What the game lacks in music, it makes up for in realistic environmental and engine sounds. Everything from the hiss as you pull up, to the torrent of water that has upended your little Jeep while you were checking your map. It all sounds great. There isn't really much in the way of music while traversing. If ever a game needed a few radio stations in the vehicles, it was here. The ability to hook up your Spotify account or something in the game would be really cool. Visuals are astounding in my opinion. Whoa, hold on. You might be looking at these going, no, Mark, these are not astounding visuals. But bear with me. First, everything in the environment is physically rendered. Stones and boulders shift under your wheels, causing you to slide. The force of the water and the particle systems are affected as you enter it. Puddles of mud react realistically to your pathetic spinning tyres, and mud squelches and shifts as you blast through it, kicking up over your wheels. When you leave water, it drips from the truck, and trees bend and upend if you collide with them. Everything works as you would expect in real life, which is just unheard of in a non-simulation experience, and it feels refreshing. The game also has simulated day and night cycles, with your headlights becoming essential. It runs well and looks decent in handheld. It isn't perfect, as the aforementioned emissions such as reflections in your wing mirrors are a shame, but they don't completely ruin the otherwise excellent immersion. Overall, audio scores 15 out of 20, and those lovely visuals, well, at least in my opinion, scores 17 out of 20. The game retails at £34.99, $39.99 or €39.99, and it is a relatively premium price tag, and as such will require you to value the type of game this is. If you're after a truck simulation with decent visuals and lots of missions to run, then this will be for you. It is impressive how well the Switch deals with the graphical calculations going on here, and you won't be disappointed if you're a fan of other similar iterations on more powerful consoles. For everyone else, you're gonna probably wait for a heavy sale or buy physically for a reduction. Value scores 13 out of 20. This is most certainly a game for fans, and as such won't appeal, as mentioned, to everyone. Online multiplayer is a boon, and the visuals, performance and sound are all solid. For me, gameplay lacked. They could have included more entertaining things to do in free mode. The challenges are varied enough, but if you're a fan of games like Grand Theft Auto, don't expect to be robbing any banks. Spin Tires Mud Runners scores 74%. Who would have thought? Thanks to the developers for the review copy. Now go forth and release your inner trucking nerd. For all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!
Break the ground till we get it, figure it out.